Can we please talk about
Yeah, let's talk about the Super Bowl. Jesus.
I wanted to talk about,
Are your damn feet glued to that soapbox? Soapbox? You fucking... Your feet glued to that soapbox? You goddamn hippie?
I will say the best commercial, in my opinion, was the Dunk Kings commercial with Ben Affleck.
I couldn't really hear it. I don't know. Did we have captions on?
No.
But I saw everything happening. I knew what was going on. I could infer that it was funny because it's fucking Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Ben
and
Affleck
J-Lo.
was talking about dropping a rap album, and Matt Damon's just like, it's really hard to be here for you, buddy. Is what he said at one point. And then Tom Brady was fucking playing keyboard.
Yeah. And then you can leave, or you guys go.
You
home.
can say,
but you can say Tom. Yeah.
I thought that was a fun ad, but man, it's just. You were talking about how the Super Bowl didn't feel like the Super Bowl this year. I think because we are shifting into a new era of how we watch TV.
How we consume content.
The only thing that stays on these channels is like live sports. That's the only thing cable has anymore.
Yeah.
And then you think about the NFL Sunday Ticket going to YouTube TV, and you think about all this other stuff, and it's just like, it feels weird. Because we watched it on Paramount Plus.
So did I when I got home.
And it was like...
Which sucks because Peacock I can pause.
Yeah.
And I can't on Paramount.
Honestly?
Which I really wanted to. Like get home and
Peacock,
pause and take a dump after all that food we ate.
I didn't have much issues with Peacock. The Peacock PS4 app that I was using is dog shit.
I just use my Roku TV.
But now that I use it on my TV, it's much different. But...
Yeah.
I just think that like there's not the Super Bowl commercials kind of lost their luster a while ago, in my opinion.
When they started playing them on Friday on YouTube, it was like, well, I don't care because I've already seen them or we already know about them. You know what I mean?
And a lot of the times
they
I
get leaked
care
on Friday
that much about an ad that I'm gonna be like, no, I have to sit here and hold my piss so I can watch this.
When
fucking,
you can easily look it up on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too is that I am not in circles where I would know about what ads were gonna be on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, from like Friday to Sunday, I just don't. I'm not on the internet like that. So I wouldn't
really pay attention to that either.
Right, I wouldn't have known. So
I knew that there was going to be a Deadpool trailer. I knew that.
I suspected one because
that's the only thing Marvel has right now.
Right. But you know, but when I got through all the commercials and stuff, I didn't realize, you know, all of them were new to me, and that was cool. But yeah, when I was growing up, man, that was like the thing. It was, you know, the Super Bowl is such a big deal, and with the way we consume content now, everything is changing. And I gotta be honest, I'm fucking terrified right now. I have no idea what's coming next. And from one day to the next, I mean, where do you go? As a musician trying to market myself, I'm like, I have no fucking clue what to do because by tomorrow it might be something completely different.
No, and I think a lot of the industry, a lot of people are realizing in the last few years that it's a double-edged sword. Well, it's great that you and I can do this podcast and we can put this up on our YouTube channel and things like that. Like, while it is great to have those things, it's a double-edged sword because while we can all do it, that also means everybody can do it, and so you got to find ways to cut through the noise. And it's
yeah, dude, yes.
And you see that a lot, even with these Super Bowl ads, where like they're so like, I just haven't cared that much about them anymore. But I will say the trailers that I did see, I liked a good portion of them. It excites me for a couple movies. Because I want to say, I just want to touch on a couple of them, and then because we're mostly going to be talking about Deadpool.
Okay. We can do the other ones first. Yeah, that's fine.
But I wanted to talk about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
Because, one, I love this franchise. Because it's so hard to title it because you already have Planet of the Apes. So then it's always...
What is this one called?
Blank of the... this is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. You had to put of the in there twice.
Yeah, of course.
So this one, I really latched... Like, I had seen the first one here and there. I knew how iconic that first movie is.
Yeah.
But I never really cared for that.
Damn dirty apes.
I never saw any of the sequels. I never cared for that franchise.
I don't think I'm sure I've seen Planet of the Apes, the original, like through, but
that first series,
it's so long.
That first run, that first franchise was in the 60s and 70s. So by the time my only real exposure to Planet of the Apes was the Tim Burton movie, and that one sucked.
Yeah.
So,
well, in the 70s, I mean, I don't think the effects hold up super great, but the makeup is incredible in those movies for the time, and they still holds up mostly.
Choose the scenery in the best Charlton Heston way he could.
Which sucks that he's such a right-wing douche nozzle, you know?
Isn't he dead?
Yeah, but he, like, towards the end of his life, like,
Yeah.
The people of Columbine asked him not to come and do a gun show.
Oh, and then it was that weird Bowling for Columbine thing.
Right afterwards, and he said, and he did the whole "from my cold dead hands" shit.
Anyway.
But yeah, Charlton Heston, like as an actor, great.
So
he's in True Lies. He's so great.
So I really didn't become a fan of this until the recent reboot trilogy. Rise, Dawn, and War of the Planet of the Apes.
Which one was Woody in?
Woody Harrelson was in the last one.
Oh, okay.
So Rise of the Planet of the Apes is with James Franco, and that is the origin.
And Lithgow.
That is the origin.
That's the whole scene with all the animals on the bridge.
He's trying to cure Alzheimer's. Is what it starts with.
Great fucking origin story.
But I remember that movie coming out, catching me off guard, falling in love with it. I love the sequel. I love
it did kind of come out of nowhere.
I have all three of them on Blu-ray. I want to go back and rewatch them. I really am going to consider watching the older Planet of the Apes movies because I have not touched those. I have a box set.
Maybe we should review them.
I have a box set of all 5, and then I have so there's 8 movies. I have all 8 movies.
Okay.
But again, I haven't watched the older sequels, and I know they get pretty bad. But you know what? Maybe it might be like Godzilla versus
we should,
Smog
we should
Monster.
do really, really, really fun. This would be really, really fun if we did all of those really shitty ones, but we did them backwards. Like start with the shittiest one first.
So, yeah.
Like start with like the very last one.
Get through but then it'll be so gratifying when you get to the best ones.
Right, and
it's
the
a
best
journey
part,
backwards.
The best part too is that we won't know what the fuck is going on.
Out of context.
Out of context reviews, yeah.
So anyway, I really love that trilogy, and to know this is a continuation, it's going to be its own kind of. I think they're planning to make this its own trilogy as well.
Sure.
But so this is set hundreds of years after War for the Planet of the Apes. So hundreds of years after Caesar's story, and it puts it in a setting where apes have officially taken over. They're the dominant species. They're hunting humans now. And there's one chimp who I didn't know. I don't think they said his name in the trailer or not. But so he's clearly going to be like the Caesar type good character who starts protecting humans and saying, like, we shouldn't. Because he's starting to say, his thing would be like, how is it any better when they were the dominant species and doing this to us that we're doing it to them,
Right.
And I got to say, the special effects that I saw in this trailer, just like the other movies, I think is really well done. Like, the motion capture is nuts. And I already tell that the villain in this movie, I'm going to fucking love. He had such a dominating presence. And I think what's so great about these movies and what's so unique about this is just how close we are to primates and how you're going to be telling mostly a story like you did in those other ones with a mostly CGI character, but believable that it's an ape talking.
Right.
Because they're so close to us, it's very believable that just one thing could make an evolutionary change. And like that's what was so cool about that.
You really got to wonder, like, what is it that has caused them to has prevented them from learning like spoken language,
and that tells you about
written language. That's really what separates us from primates.
They can sign though. They can communicate this with sign.
But they didn't develop us.
Yes, and it was a cohesive thing. Like over time,
I'm sure science could tell me.
But regardless, like I'm just like that's what I mean is I'm so excited to see this movie because it's just you see so much of how bad CGI has looked. And so when you see a movie that like really has pretty solid CGI and really believable characters, like when you had Thanos in those fucking Avengers movies, where you're like, oh my god, it's incredible how realistic this looks and how believable. Like and it's mostly going to be that there's humans in it, obviously, because you got to have the human element. That's the whole point of these stories. And like, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That one is
whatever.
That might be one of the few movies I'm going to go to the theater. Like, I want to see that on a big screen.
Sure, yeah, that'd be cool.
Twisters, the sequel to Twister
/ reboot /
it's like
having nothing to do with
it's
the
what they
other one.
call requels. It's like a reboot sequel, I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking care. It did have like that fun thing of being like, oh my god, I'm getting it now. Where I'm seeing like when my parents were having nostalgia really play into them, I'm seeing it now more. I'm like, all this 90s shit that I had growing up keeps getting brought back because you start to realize how manufactured nostalgia becomes. Because it's like, oh, remember all these 90s babies that love this movie? Well, now you're older and you have kids. Take your kids to this movie.
Humans, by and large, are fucking dumb.
Did you like Ghostbusters?
Like,
here's another one.
Top Gun comes out, and the reason why it was such really good behind the scenes of like the military and the Navy and everything was because the Navy gave its blessing because they were like, dude, this is going to be a great recruitment tool. And sure enough, recruitment shot up for the Navy.
And
after
it did
Top
well
Gun
in
came
all
out.
these other countries because they didn't say which country they
Here's
were
why here's why humans are dumb. Twister came out, and for an entire fucking summer, everybody's like, let's chase fucking tornadoes, dude.
I will not.
Fucking idiots.
I will go into this movie with an open mind, but I will not sign off on it unless I see. Listen to me. This is important.
I need to take my
Glenn
Tamagotchi.
Glenn Powell has got to hold on to the weakest fucking pipe imaginable in the most unbelievable way with his belt, like Bill Paxton did in that first movie. Otherwise, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, fucking bullshit.
And you know what? Elevate it. Make it even crazier. He's hanging off a helicopter with his belt while the tornado's coming at him.
Make it even crazier. Make like 8 cows flying around inside the Twister, and they're all having sex with each other.
Why?
You said go crazy.
Not that crazy. Come on, cow fucking on screen. I want to see it.
You can CGI that shit. Or hell, I don't know. Whatever.
Woo. Lordy. Why? Why did you always got to make it weird? Ba-dum-ba-ba-dum. That's the show.
You used to be cool with that stuff, man. You used to think that was funny.
Used to be cool with cow fucking.
Used to be cool. Used to be cool with bovine fucking. With bovine loving.
That's, much classier. I appreciate it. Bovine.
Thanks for not saying fucking.
A movie that I'll probably also see in theaters because my wife will probably want to see it. It was Wicked.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
There's 2 musicals that I will watch, and one of them is West Side Story, and I did like the new one with Spielberg, and South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut because that is technically a musical. Every other one. Did you fart or did the dog fart? You don't smell that? Was that me? Did I fart and forget about it?
Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries, who farted?
Off-panel, off-topic edition.
Who farted in the studio? You just did right now, I'm pretty sure.
Dun, dun.
The Fall Guy was... I like that trailer, but... Let's just go on to
Fall Guy. Yeah, it looks funny. I probably, I might see it at some point.
I'm telling you, I said it earlier. I think Ryan Gosling is one of the few guys that feels like a movie star.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like Tom Cruise,
and
levels,
he's cool.
But
he's cool.
He's a fun guy. He's a fall guy.
He's a fall guy and a fun guy, like a mushroom.
Sometimes he's a summer guy.
Sometimes he's a summer guy. Sometimes he's a winter guy. Sometimes he's a fucking spring guy, but tonight he's a fucking fall guy.
Hey, we said no more singing.
Fuck.
For a guy who doesn't like musicals, you fucking sing a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Fuck you.
You're gonna go to see Wicked with me and my wife.
No. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.